All right, so here we have a Maytag fridge. Actually, on the inside, it is labeled as a Whirlpool model MFI2569VEW2. And symptoms, the other day I went to get some ice here. You can see there's no display. Hit the ice maker or ice dispenser, and everything lights up, and it has an annoying beep. Normally there'd be a temperature being displayed here. At this point, it looks like the fridge is just simply not working. So what we ended up doing, we left items in it, see if it would keep cold. It did not, so it's not currently working. What I do have, if you press the up arrow on the left, the door inside the ice tray opens. Press the down arrow, the door inside the ice tray closes. But other than that, nothing else actually does anything. You can hold reset, hold control lock, hold them both. No matter how long you hold them, nothing seems to work. So what we ended up doing was ordering a new control board for it. I picked that up today, and I'm going to show you how to install that. All right, so this is the control board we got. Part number is WPW103-12695. I picked this up from Marcone here in St. Louis. They had it in stock. Luckily for me, it was $230 some odd. It's a $60 core. Once I get the old one out, I can get that $65 back. So this is the new board we're gonna have to swap in. This is the one side of it, and the other side. So in terms of the part number there, again, 103-12695, labeled as part number B here. Alright, so pull the fridge away from the wall, and the control board is here under this display. Before you work on the fridge, be sure you unplug it just for safety purposes. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those 4 screws there, and we'll take the cover off. Alright, so I've removed the 4 screws. We'll go ahead and uncover it. And we've got another cover. So there is the board that we're replacing. I'm going to have to slide that cover out. Just a little latch you can push in, pull that out, and there's our cover. Now I've got the water line here. Probably go ahead and remove the tape to allow me to try to move that out of the way a little bit. But what we've got inside of there is the board. Just trying to figure out, oh, it's actually just held in place with a couple of tabs here. So there's one there, one up top there, and then it looks like once we free both of those, it'll kind of pop its way out. So let's go ahead and try that out. All right, so we're now going to try to pop the board out. I've got the cables hooked up still for now, just to see what happens here. If you pry too hard, those plastic tabs actually bend, so not ideal, but looks like that's the way they're going to be. There we go. And then the board kind of pries its way out. So what we're going to end up having to do is pull these 4 cables and put the new board in place. So to remove, you just got to press on the tab on each of these cables. Cables all appear to have unique pins, so I'm not too worried about mixing up which one goes where. I'm just going to leave the wires kind of in the same location they are. That should make it easier to replace. So this is the board that came off. Part number 103-12695B matches up to the new board. Same part number. So we're going to go ahead and try to swap this back in place. It would be helpful if I put it in the right direction, right orientation. So go ahead and flip it over, plug the cables back in using their connectors. All right, so go ahead and do that. Then I can slide the board back in place and attempt to get the tabs to hold it in place there. So for now, I'm not going to bother putting the cover back on just yet. I'm going to take the fridge, plug it back in, and see if it fires up, see if that front display works now, and we'll go from there. As soon as I plug the fridge in, I can immediately hear fans running on the inside. The front door actuator on the ice worked as well, so I'm going to pull the fridge back around so we can look at the front. Alright, so we are now in this display where it has PE, 4 zeros, and right now it's flashing. Yours may or may not be flashing. What we need to do is we need to program the control board. We need to put in the proper code. So if you go into your serial sticker, the thing that has the part number, the model number, etc. on it, inside of there on mine it says code 2020. So you're looking for the word code, then that 4-digit number is the code that you need to program your unit. Now, in order to program my unit, I need to hold down the door alarm button. At the same time, I'm going to press the down button on the freezer settings. I'm going to release the door alarm, keep the down button on the freezer, and if it sticks, which it didn't that time around, let's try again. So I'm going to hold door alarm, down on the freezer, release door alarm, and then I get into PE. So it just says PE at this point. I'm going to press down on the freezer temperature again. Now you see we've got 4 digits and a decimal after the first one. So if we press up on the freezer temperature, that decimal is going to move. What we can do though, is we can, on the refrigerator temperature, press up till I get to 2. Then I'm going to press the arrow to move the decimal place. Now my code was 2020, so I'm going to press it again to go to the second digit or the third digit. Press it one more time, you can see it goes all the way to the end. So I have my code programmed now. I'm going to go ahead and hold the freezer down temperature again. Goes in, and it is now flashing. That has set the code for us on this particular unit. We've done that. We can go ahead and press any key to exit. Let's see, maybe. There we go. So you can see the display switched, and a fan shut off, a relay fired inside of the refrigerator, and it's got my freezer temperature and refrigerator temperature up on the display again. So I've got my light now with the video and the phone. It looks like it's pulsing. It's not actually pulsing. That's just a refresh on the phone. But we've got the refrigerator set up now, set with the freezer temp, refrigerator temp. I'm going to drop that down. And if we want to go ahead and try this out, I'll switch to ice mode. I have no ice in the tray, but if I go ahead, try to distribute ice, you can hear inside there the actuator firing, the gear spinning in the ice tray, trying to spit out some ice. If we go ahead and try the water, I get some water spitting out as well. So at this point, I've gone ahead and reprogrammed that refrigerator. It's about 12:30 in the afternoon here, and I can see how long it takes to actually cool down. But I believe I've saved myself from having to buy a new fridge by replacing that control board. Now, one thing I do want to do before we go too far is I'll go back in and I'll put the cover on the back of the unit, but you don't need to watch me do that in the video. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up.